Hey guys, Infinity here, and I want to talk to you about timeline paralysis. And this is something that is pretty common for people who are awakened or awakening when you start to come online and understand that everything is connected, that there are different branches and timelines, that there are portals or stargates, or even if that hasn't come into your awareness yet, that could, this timeline paralysis thing can happen where you understand that every choice you make, every decision you make, everything you do is a different, or is connected to a different set of circumstances, and then that just what goes out from there. So you could literally just sit and think about the different things that you could be doing next, and then imagine each one of those timelines just as it goes and goes and goes, or what may happen in each of these different timelines. So you could be sitting there and going, okay, well, I could get up and go wash the dishes, or I could get up and go for a walk, or I can take a nap, or I could get on the computer, I could watch a video, I could do some art, I could, you could just go in these way different directions with what you're going to do at any given time. And then instead of actually deciding on anything, you get overwhelmed with the different possibilities, and understanding that different possibilities will have different consequences and may lead you in totally different directions. And so what tends to happen a lot of the time is that we don't do anything. And we kind of check out and get passive. And this is really common. And for sometimes it's okay to do this. We need to do this. We need to explore those timelines and those inner workings on an etheric level and not on a physical level, and to understand how the energies connect. This is how we work with manifestation. This is how, and law of attraction, all that stuff is very much connected to this. And I think that when people start to get into how they are going to live their lives and be authentic, or master their frequency, whatever it is, that they can overthink things. Things can get overwhelming, and they can overthink things in regards to what does it mean if I do this or that, and how am I being guided, and what should I do? Or they even forget that they're being guided, or to even look to be guided. They just are kind of get wrapped up in this whole timeline thing. And maybe without even realizing that's a timeline thing. It's just they feel disconnected in a way, and they just think about what they could be doing, and almost deciding none of it matters anyway. Not none of it okay, maybe not that, but that it's more interesting to explore etherically, and it really doesn't matter what they may do in the next moment, because they're more interested in exploring those possibilities etherically and not physically. So it's something to think about while you're thinking. It's something to identify and to recognize that we can have these moments or these days, recurring days within the awakening process where we get distracted with all the different infinite possibilities, and then we start to wonder what's going on really, and who we are and what we're supposed to be doing. And it really is a timeline paralysis that happens. And once that's recognized, you can say, okay, well, I'm just kind of in my head. Is that what I'm supposed to be doing right now? Like, really? Because there are times when you're just supposed to sit and think and meditate. But then there are times where you're supposed to actually be doing stuff. And we can be kind of pulled into this kind of false meditation where we're not really meditating. We're more feeding the overwhelmed monster more overwhelming things, and perpetuating that energy of this paralysis that can happen. So I guess it goes back to mindfulness, to being aware of yourself, to paying attention to what's going on, and to call in your guides when you do feel this overwhelmed sense. Something's going on, you're overwhelmed. It could be the energies of the day. Look into what's going on cosmically. Excuse me. So, hopefully this has helped. I was guided to do this really short video about this, because I know that right now, especially as we're heading into this new moon in 24 hours, these energies are definitely ramping up, because we're kind of being forced to face, like, okay, what's all going on? Where are we? And we can just start feeling this a little bit more in this next like week to week and a half, up into the next Stargate on the 9th of September. So 9/9, it's a really, really big portal, and things are definitely taking shape and form for that portal and for the last quarter of this year. So right now things are really, really intense, physically, emotionally, energetically, for those of us really in our missions, maybe even more so, maybe a sense of a lot of time moving very quickly, and it being kind of hard to establish a sense of what's coming at us at a moment's notice to deal with versus what's on the agenda, and prioritizing time and not getting overwhelmed with timeline paralysis because of time moving fast. So we can really kind of be our worst enemies in this. And I've been getting a lot of visions of people kind of being stuck in this way, where they feel this sense of this pull, this sense of urgency to do stuff, and then they get into what it is that they need to do, and then they're just kind of stuck there. So try to pull yourself out of that. Try to understand where that's coming from and what's going on with that. Identify it. Don't let it overwhelm you and keep you from actually moving and advancing. Remember that we're constantly being tested in many, many different ways. So we are on the right trajectory. So we are in the right space and frame of mind to be where we're going. So we don't have any major slippages in our journey. We don't get catapulted too far out to a place where we can't handle it. We're exactly where we're meant to be, but sometimes we can get pulled to a place that we've already been and crossed, and it's just kind of a check and balance and review kind of thing, just to make sure you understand where you are, your remembrances of who you are, what you're doing here, what's going on, to dump old programs and constructs and ideas and thought forms and parasites and entities that are keeping you in a certain framework that is holding you back from advancing. Now, so it gets a little complicated. You need to really do some work to get this. And if you are feeling a little out of sorts, or you're irritable and irritated, and things are just out of whack or whatever, that's a good indication that maybe this is going on. And what I would suggest for that is a real meditation about and bringing in your guides and your angelics, whoever, Jesus, whoever it is that you're really close to, that you can talk to in the astral, to help filter through the information, to just give you the guidance for the timelines in which that you need to go on and explore and be working with, versus those times when you're connecting to the multiverse and you're working with your universe and everybody else's universes, and you're exploring the web of life. That's a totally different thing. So there's a time and a place for everything. And there is a balance to that. The balance of preparation versus action. And those are the two things that, and flow. So there's like this preparation, action, and flow that needs to coexist all together. And we're really being tested in these ways right now, because you're not going to be put in positions that you're not yet ready for on a spiritual level, because then it would really cause some issues, even more so. So again, it's always a good idea to just take a step back, see things from a different perspective. There's infinite perspectives that you can explore. And so recognize any dissonance, any anxiety or stress about what it is that you're doing, or time itself. Time is also moving quickly right now, very quickly. So that can also be an issue when we're stopping to think about all that it needs to be done, maybe, or what we're doing, or where we're going, or where we're putting our energy. While time is moving quickly, then we realize, wow, what actually has been accomplished, aside from thinking. So also recognize that you're thinking, and the different timelines that you're allowing yourself and your energy to go down and think about also constructs your current reality. So the different timelines that you're thinking of, or the different choices that you're considering at any given time, you're giving energy to those thoughts and ideas. And if you explore too much in any way that is of negatively charged energy, then you can actually be manifesting that very, very quickly into your current reality. So you have to be really, really careful of what you're allowing your consciousness to spend time on, and when and how and all of that. So it's really important to keep your thoughts positive, and always for in the idea of keeping your vibration nice and high, and steady, nice, high, happy vibration. If you're irritable, if you're grouchy, if you're angry, if you're at all in those vibrations, if you feel like shit, if you're in pain, if you're confuse any of those things. It's a really good indication that something is not right. Maybe something outside of yourself. Maybe you're being pushed by dark energies that are attached to you or coming into your field that are trying to manipulate you. Now remember, those of us of the light really, really, really need to start seeing things for what they are when it comes to manipulations from the dark side to keep you from your highest possible timelines. So you're in a kind of a fight and a battle from within and from without, and you are the only one who can identify these things and take a different course of action for yourself. Those of us like me can come and try to help you see things for what they are, but it's you that needs to decide for yourself what is and what isn't, and where you're being guided to and where you're being guided away from at any given time, what that's about. And also remember that the kind of crux to that is, just because you're uncomfortable in some way doesn't mean it's a bad, negative thing. Evolution and change is uncomfortable. So you have to discern from what is a negative uncomfortable or a positive uncomfortable. And that will help a lot. Because we're kind of told, oh, if you're uncomfortable, it's bad. But that's not true. It's just simply not true. Being uncomfortable goes with change and evolution and ascension. It is part of the game. But so is beauty and magic and connection and unity and love and all that good stuff too. It's not just being uncomfortable. It's riding the growing pains, but also being on and seeing things for what they are, as sometimes we have to sit in traffic to get to the vacation. It's just part of the way things are. But don't be led astray. Don't be pulled away from the truth and the light of what is, just because it's easier or you're being manipulated in that way. You have to really, really pay attention and discern and not play a spiritual game of rainbows and unicorns and bullshit, but really see things for what they are and the truth and break free. Truly break free for yourself. Okay, guys, thanks for listening. I really appreciate it. I hope this video helped. I will be posting another video shortly about about a lot of stuff, actually. Kind of more about me and our missions when you are a light worker, light warrior. So look out for that. This was kind of part 2, but I am going to be posting it first, just because it is shorter and easier to get through, and hopefully helpful for you guys, especially today. Just a day removed from the new moon on the 30th, and then just a couple days from the new portal for 9/1, and then of course 9/9. So lots of choices to be made in these next few days, you guys. Just keep on top and remember your energy, master your frequency, and go as guided, and remember that you can always reach out to me, and I'm always here for you guys. All right, guys, thank you so much. Infinite love and blessings. Don't forget, the key is to create, and I love you already. Bye for now.